Whereas most funnels give away the boat and sell the island. You're moving it from nice to have to being critical and essential to have.
Hello and welcome to Funnel Masters, the show where top marketers expose the inner workings of their sales process and share their best takeaway tactics so you can replicate it for yourself. I'm your host, Andy Fletcher, and today's Funnel Masters are responsible for a funnel that produces over $20 per click for their affiliates. They're going to walk us through every step of that funnel and use it to explain how to take your offers from nice to have to critical and essential to have. Here to tell you all about it are the email marketing heroes, Rob Temple and Kennedy. Hey guys, thanks so much for coming along to Funnel Masters today. I'm really great to have you here.
Awesome to be here. Hello.
Excited.
So let's start with the usual question. What the funnel? Tell me about what is it? What are you selling? And big yourselves up. Tell me some cool stats.
Go for it.
Oh, we're both going to let the other one big ourselves up.
That was really nice, wasn't it? Well, usually you've got all the numbers, so let's do you.
Yeah, cool. So we teach email marketing, psychology-driven email marketing, particularly to people who create and sell courses, memberships, and coaching. So that's our audience. And our kind of front-end product is, it's called the Complete Daily Email Strategy. We're not very good at naming things. Excellent at email marketing, not very good at naming things.
You're being interviewed by a guy who sells a thing called Convertry. Don't worry about the naming thing.
And so basically it's our 2-hour, 40-minute long course about how to do how to send emails every single day that your subscribers will love. They won't hate you for it. They'll reply to your emails. They'll tell you how brilliant it is. It's a stack of that plus some of the bonuses like how to write perfect subject lines and how to plan out your emails and stuff. All of that for a $39 front end. This is created really as our sort of paid lead magnet, really. It's just our sort of paid customer acquisition model.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's our front end.
Excellent. And so let's go through the rest of the funnel then. What do they get upsold after that? What's it look like?
Sure. Okay. So after they buy that, we have a bump offer, and the bump offer on the cart is a plan for 365 story prompts. Basically, it's an idea, a prompt every single day, so you can always come up with a new story or something to say in your emails, like a starting point. That's converting at an absolute treat. Rob, what's the number? Because I always get the wrong end of the numbers.
Yeah, so it varies between 50 and 60%, depending on whether or not it's coming from affiliates or cold traffic. So cold traffic, it's about 50%. Affiliates, it's closer to 60%. So more than half of people who buy the front end are adding a $27 bump.
Yeah.
And is that is that a bump directly on the order form, or is that a kind of an upsell afterwards?
No, it's a bump on the actual order form. So we take them from 39 to additional 27, giving us a $66 on that front for 60% of people.
That's fantastic. And is there more behind the funnel there? Or
absolutely. So after that, they say yes to some of those things. And then, of course, the next thing we talk to them about is a product of ours called Email Marketing Rescue Mission. And the premise of that, the big promise of that is email marketing is great and stuff. But the problem is most people are not setting their email subscribers up to actually become customers. And that happens in the first 4 days of that relationship with a new email subscriber. And we have a thing that we teach called the Getting to Know You sequence, which is the 4-day welcome sequence that we put everybody through, which deepens your relationships, adds credibility, adds vulnerability and trust, so people lean into you and you're not just another person boasting on the internet. And then also trains people to click and desire and want to buy from you faster rather than having to nurture forever and then some people might buy. Because the biggest problem I think a lot of people have, and we'll talk about why this upsell works so well and when Rob gives you the numbers and stuff, but the big problem I think a lot of people have with email marketing is it takes people too long from acquisition of the email address and get people on your list to conversion, which means you can be very quickly negatively cash flowed. You can run out of cash for building your email list. And we really tap into that problem and we solve that problem in that upsell. It's a $97 upsell. And the conversion numbers, Rob?
So currently it's just over 30%. From affiliates. So yeah, just over a third of people are basically taking about a third of people who buy the front end are then taking this $97 upsell.
That's fantastic. That's a great upsell conversion.
Yeah, we're really pleased with that. And then after that, we've got one more which is a list building course, basically. But again, a unique thing around it, because everyone's heard of a list building course and list building course. Our list building course is called Your First 5K Subscribers. And this is about getting your first 5,000 email subscribers. And that was the big idea of it. So it wasn't just like how to build your email list for social media. The promise is how do you get 5,000 subscribers using no cost and low cost traffic methods? Because there's this thing about, if you've got 5,000 email subscribers, actually for most people, you can build the business you kind of want. For example, we built a very comfortable 6-figure business with way less than 5,000 subscribers. So when you get to 5,000, you've really got enough people coming through, and we teach, and it's all about how to create a lead magnet that's genuinely exceptional, because most lead magnets are terrible, and that's the reason they don't work. A big problem that a lot of people have with their lead magnet is actually it usually sets people up to not want to buy from you in the first place because they're not actually qualifying anybody. So we talk about all of that. We talk about the traffic. We talk about setting up the tech of it, and that's a 295 offer. And
not a 7.
I know, and there's a reason for that as well.
I apologise to all my listeners. I've clearly got 2 guys who don't know what they're talking about. We'll end the interview now.
What's even more weird, and this trips us up all the time, is that the front end is 39, the bump offer is 27, the first upsell is 97, and then the last offer is 295. So we've got a 9, a 7, and a 5.
Is that something you've tested, or are you just bad at typing numbers in when you set the problem?
No, it's all part of this idea of variety and it being non-formulaic. What happens is if everybody gets fed into this pattern, obviously our background is psychology and that's what we teach, is we don't want them becoming sort of numb to it, like going, it's 37, 40, because all they're doing now, if it's 37, then 97, then 297, all they're doing is they're paying attention to the first 1 or 2 digits. They're actually not completely immersing themselves in the value proposition. So that's why we sort of change it up, and that's why the numbers are really good. What's our conversion on upsell number 2 on the first 5K?
Just an aside on that first, we've got a product later on in our email sequences that's $12.99. So how about that? Yes, so we've got 5.07, so 5% conversion on the 295 offer.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And is that do people see that offer? If they don't, so if they say no to upsell 1, are they still seeing this one, or are they done if they don't take upsell 1?
Yeah, if they click no, they get to see upsell number 2. We don't want to take that away from them. And what's interesting is we're actually surprised by how many people, because you often think, oh, it's the price. If they're going to say no to a $97 thing, they're not going to say yes to the $295. That's not the truth. And the numbers say that it's not the truth, because actually it's all to do with what is the proposition, what is the offer, what is the problem that you're solving. If they don't give a hoot about your getting to know you sequence, your welcome sequence, and converting people quick, because they haven't got a list, then they want the second upsell. So, and we'll talk about the order of why those upsells are in a very particular order, which is the actual the magic sitting behind why those numbers are so good.
Cool. So in fact, I mean, that was going to be like my next question. So how do you find this connects together? How do you find this, like, when you developed this, did you build like one piece of it first? Did you build the whole thing out in one go? Like, talk to me about the thinking behind that.
So we have this thing where most of the time, most funnels are built as an ascension funnel. So cheap thing, slightly more expensive thing, slightly more expensive thing. And obviously sometimes people play around with those prices a bit, and it kind of goes from one price to a lower price to a higher price. We've seen that before as well. But in this case, what they also tend to do is they tend to do that on the progress of the buyer journey. So they tend to say, okay, well, this person's just bought a product about how to do email, about how to do list building. Now, the next thing they're likely to want to do is email marketing. Let's sell them an email marketing course. And so what we've done is we've really flipped that around on its head. If you take our funnel and you exactly reverse it, so the front end is a list building course. The next upsell is how to build a welcome sequence that gets everyone on board. And the last upsell is how to send emails every day that people love and make sales of your products every day. That sounds like a more logical funnel, because the first step is list building. The second step is welcoming those people. The third step is selling to them. But actually, what we've
seen that funnel a lot more often, I have to say.
Yeah. So the reason why it works so well the other way around is the fact that that ascension thing assumes and I mean ascension of customer journey, assumes that customers only buy the stuff that they're ready to buy. And that's just not true. Customers will buy stuff, especially when it's like a $39 SLO type offer. Somebody will buy a $39 thing because one day they foresee themselves needing it. So people are buying, and we found this out the hard way. We ran a survey to our list of customers ages ago. And one of the questions was, how big is your email list? And the options were things like, I don't have a list yet. I've got less than 100 subscribers. I've got 101 to 500, and then up in bands. And over a third of our list at the time, who were all customers, at the time we didn't have any free list building mechanism. They were only customers who'd bought our last offer, which was about email marketing, didn't have an email list yet. And they'd still bought.
They were literally buying a product about how to run the email list they don't even have yet.
Yeah, because one day they will have a list.
Yeah.
Excellent. That's fantastic.
Yeah, and so that was actually the reason why we created First 5K in the first place, was we thought, well, we need a list building course for all these people we've got who haven't got a list but want to do email marketing. They've proven with their wallets they want to do email marketing. They just physically can't right now. Let's create a course that helps them to solve that. So that's where that came from. And so what we realized is by flipping this around on its head, what you can do is you can turn your upsells from being a nice to have into being an absolute must have, because otherwise the thing I've just bought, it's nothing wrong with the product. The product isn't incomplete. The product hasn't got holes in it, but I can't use it yet. And so now what happens is when somebody buys the front end offer and the next page, we say, amazing, you've just got everything that you need to send brilliant emails as often as every day that your subscribers are going to love and they're going to convert like mad. But it doesn't matter how good your emails are. If nobody on your email list right now gives a hoot about who you are, they're not going to open your emails. They're not going to pay attention. You're not going to be able to get the results that you want. So the best way to fix that is to make sure that for every new subscriber coming into your world and all of the existing subscribers you've currently got, you're able to wake them up, build a deep relationship, and you do that using a welcome sequence. So now, and it's proven in 30% conversions of a $97 offer, a whole boatload of people go, that's a good point, actually. My list don't pay attention. Or when I do get subscribers, I want them to pay attention. I better grab that offer. And so that offer now kind of becomes much more essential than it would be if we'd flipped these around. Because otherwise what you get is the problem of people buy a list building course now, and then you try and sell them email marketing training and they go, oh, well, I'll come back for that because nobody believes one-time offers anymore. So I'll come back and I'll buy that. I'll buy that later once I've built my list, but first I need to go and make sure I can build my list. Because we flip these around, they can't easily use the first one unless they've got a list, unless they've got all this stuff in place. So by flip-flopping it around that way and creating stuff that sounds like it's illogical in terms of the buyer order, it actually creates a really nice conversation through the funnel where you go, great, amazing. You've got everything you need to send amazing emails. You're now going to be able to create a brilliant welcome sequence as well. Now you just need an actual email list. Now, if you've already got one and it's not as big as you'd like it to be, or you haven't got one at all, we found that 5,000 subscribers is the perfect number of subscribers to have if you want to be able to build a really solid business that actually hits your income goals, is easy to manage. It doesn't require dedicated servers and all this other cack that comes with having a huge list of hundreds of thousands of people. If you want to get 5,000 subscribers in the shortest time possible, this is the course for you. And again, people jump on it in droves.
The analogy we use when we're creating these, when we used to build these for clients, we don't do any client work anymore, when we're teaching it inside of our membership and other things, is we use what we call this the boat and island strategy. Imagine you go, you take all that money you've made from Convertry and you go and buy yourself a lovely fancy yacht. You go and buy yourself a lovely boat. You love that. It's great. So no, you don't buy yourself a boat at all. I'm lying. I can't even do my own analogy. I call you up.
I'm not cutting this out. I'm putting that in.
Fine. I'm getting ahead of myself. It's all fine. I call you up and say, dude, because I use the word dude all the time. No, I say, man, I've got this. I want to give you a free yacht, like a boat. Would you like it? And you're like, flip an heck, I love sailing. Yeah, that'd be great. Get away, that'd be amazing. I say, great. All you got to do is come into our little showroom. It's just there, and come in and we'll sign it over to you. You come in the showroom, we'll sign it over to you. It's yours, it's free. On the way out of the showroom, I just say, oh, Andy, by the way, I know you've got this free yacht. You'll probably want somewhere to go on that yacht. We've actually got a nice portfolio of private islands. Would you like to take a look at the private islands? And you might go, Yeah, I'll have a look. And you look at them, you go, oh, these look all right. And some Andys would go, yeah, flip my neck. I've got this boat, bit of reciprocity going on. You've given me that. I'll buy a private island off you. Great. And some people will go, I'll have a think about it. And others will go, well, actually, I just want to sail around the coast of there, and I want to do this, I want to do that, and I like just bobbing up and down in the ocean. That's what normal funnels do. They give away the boat and they sell the island. Instead, if I call you up and say, dude, because I'm still that cool guy, I want to give you a private island, and you come into the shop. The shop. you come in.
I love this idea that you have a shop.
Suddenly, it's got bloody sand everywhere. It's terrible. You come in, and we're signing over these deeds for this beautiful private island. On the way out of the place, I said to you, by the way, we've got this special on boats. Guess what? Unless you've got a boat, you need a flipping boat to get to the island I've just given you. And that's the big difference. Most people, so you're going to give away your island and you're going to sell the boat. Whereas most funnels give away the boat and sell the island. You're moving it from nice to have to being critical and essential to have.
Actually, obviously and this came about, we created this because we were using it for list building funnels. So the lead magnet became the island, and then you sell the boat as your like tripwire offer. And that's how we maximize that. In this case, obviously both offers are paid. But in terms of the order of them. And basically what you're doing is you're kind of taking somebody's next step with you, what they think of as their second step, and you're putting that first and still making it attractive that they want to buy it. Because people don't know the big chasm of stuff that is between them and the thing they want to achieve. So they still opt in for it or they still buy it. That all still works perfectly well. But now when they see the thing that's going to give them the bridge from where they are now to where that thing's going to get them, they're much more inclined to take it.
That's fantastically helpful. Thank you for sharing all this, guys. So what was the biggest win you had? What's the biggest success you've had from this funnel?
Well, we're overjoyed with the numbers, obviously. Affiliate promotions wise, it's working incredibly well. So like we haven't done like a launch of it yet. We've just done private promotions. We will do a launch of it. But at the minute, we've just done private promotions. A recent one, somebody sent us 400 clicks. So 400 clicks from an offer from a list that actually, by their own admission, normally only buys stuff that is related to video marketing or local business marketing. And this is neither. Came in and we did like a little 4-day promotion and they turned 400 clicks into $10,000, just under $9,500 in sales. So we were really happy with that.
That's a fantastic result of an affiliate funnel. Congratulations. And I mean, he's a rubbish affiliate as well. He can't sell for topping. He'll be doing the show in a couple of weeks, so he'll get his own back. No, that's fantastic. Okay, obviously have to follow up that question. That's been your biggest success. What's the biggest mistake you've made? What's the biggest screw up? Which these make the best stories. Oh,
actually, I know what it is. Probably. One of the things that we did, we installed Hotjar on the funnel so we could watch people's, for anyone who hasn't seen it, it just records every user's activity on the site and you can literally watch their mouse move and where they click and what their credit card, you can't really see that. But like we were just watching that stuff. And so we're doing a 2-step checkout and then we have a cart abandonment sequence, which is not a cart abandonment sequence. So we have somebody click the button on the sales page, put their name and email address in. It waits for an hour, I think. And if they haven't checked out, an hour later, it puts them into this cart abandonment sequence. But it isn't a, hey, did the cart break? Notice you didn't buy the thing.
It was too much traffic. The website came down. Oh, it was terrible.
It's not that. And it isn't a, you left your ebook in your cart. You didn't buy it thing, which I think for just non-ecom funnels is just weird and grubby. So instead, what we did was we took one of our email campaigns that we created and use all the time called the Overture campaign. It's basically most of our stuff has musical theatre references just because we like theatre. But like, obviously the overture of musical is where the orchestra plays all the bits of all the songs throughout the musical. And basically it's like an overview sequence that sells the product to somebody who doesn't really know you or it very well. And we just took that and we just reframed it as a thing that they've already heard about. So like tiny changes to the sequence. And it's a six email sequence over 6 days. So 1 email a day for 6 days. And we linked them straight back to the checkout, back to the cart rather than the sales page again. And that's actually scooping up 10% of lost sales, which we're quite happy with. Don't know what a cart abandonment should do, but that's what it is doing. So one of the mistakes that we made was that we were tracking people doing this, and we found that loads of people were completing step 1 and not completing step 2. Like our drop off was horrendous. And what we realized was that the first buy button on the page, which is right at the top, told them how much it was underneath. It said it had the button and then it had the link text underneath, like Perry Belcher style. That said, add to cart, only $39. And
no, it didn't.
It didn't have that. That's what happened. It didn't have the price. So people click the button, the pop-up appears, they put their name and email address in, and now they go to the checkout, and that's where it tells them how much it is. So we had loads of people opting in just to find out the price and then going, I don't want to pay $39, and leaving. So what we did was we just had it so that none of the buttons at the top have the price on, but if they click that, it just scrolls down to the value stack at the bottom where the price is. And then when they click that button, a pop-up appears and they're opting in and they know the price. And that like really
the value. Like the problem is if somebody just clicks the button at the top and they go straight to the cart, they're going from I've seen the headline and it's $39 for me to buy that headline is essentially what they're seeing at that point, right? So whereas if they get to see all down the page very quickly as it scrolls past, and then they see the value stack, at least they've been sold. There's a sales piece in there, so now they know the price, and then that really, I mean, massively reduced. It would be more than half reduced our abandonment on the actual cart element. Yeah, so that was a mistake we definitely made.
That's fantastic. Okay, so where are you taking it next? What's the next big thing for the funnel?
We're testing some careful stuff. So with lots of faffing about, we've added a second bump offer to the order form because we're seeing this increasing amount where people have got 2 bump offers on the form. So now we've got our current one, which is 27, and we've just added a new one, which is 59.
59.22 or something, isn't it? No.
Yeah, which is 59. Or it might be 57, truthfully. Because we wanted to test having a bump offer that was more expensive than the front end, because it's something we've seen quite a bit and we like the idea. So it was only added like less than a week ago, so we have no data on that really. But it'd be interesting to see if it works. So we'll keep you in the loop on that.
And what's the product you're selling as the bump?
Is it training about it's the 8 emails that it's basically 8 emails that like quadruple or something. Basically multiply your sales of any funnel. It's a training we already had. We didn't create a new one. We already had given this training at an event that we spoke at. And if that's what it is, it's the 8 emails themselves, the full training about these really simple 8 emails. And we actually even mapped it out in a funnel simulator to show how it multiplies the income from it even if it really underperformed. So that's what it is.
That's fantastic. Okay, let's move on to the next section of the show. This is the takeaway tactics section. I wanted to share with your audience something super actionable, something they can take away. I mean, honestly, you've already shared quite a lot of this stuff, but what's your takeaway tactic? What's something that just about anyone could take away and apply to their business to improve their funnels?
Yeah, totally. I think a really simple thing would be to look at, is your front end the boat or is it the island? And is it possible for you to switch those things around so that you turn your upsells into a must-have instead of this nice-to-have? So that's definitely the thing that we credit with having such good numbers on our funnel. I think that's for me what it would be.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Cool. Thank you so much for sharing all of these details. Obviously, we will be including this funnel into Simulatory as a complete simulation so people can step through it. They can see how the conversion rates affect it. That should be fantastic. And I want to say a big thank you for letting us include that in the product when we launch it in November.
Awesome.
Are there any final thoughts you'd like to share before we finish up today?
I'm looking forward to playing around with Simulatory for a start and telling people about that, because that's going to be awesome, because we are forever doodling with stuff and going, if it converts at this percent, and wipe that bit out. It'll be great to have that tool there. So we're really looking forward to that.
Our funnels at this point often live on a flip chart that's just off camera in Kennedy's room. Yeah, so that'll be amazing. Super excited about that.
Excellent. Thank you so much for coming on the show today, guys. Thank you so much for everything you've shared.
Cheers, Andy.
Thanks for watching Funnel Masters. Make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss the next episode. Coming up next on Funnel Masters.
In a very, very short period of time, I think we generated close to £300,000. It's a funnel that takes people from eBay, converts them into buyers on your Shopify site and customers on there. And I think we're in about the top 3% of stores who are in our niche who launched at the same time as us. Our stats on Shopify, we're actually got a 45% returning customers. Don't try and get everything finished, just get it out there and start promoting and see what happens. It was almost impossible to carry on constantly doing it because it was just sending in too much money.
There's not many marketers at the moment with that problem, mate. I think you're onto a bit of a winner there.